Hey, Lo-Ryders, it's your favorite anxiety-filled content creator, Lois, aka Reality Insights. And I'm here to talk about Heart and Hustle Houston. I'm not going to do the whole episode. Season 1, episode 1, I want to talk about Chloe and her relationship with her young man and her son. Now, I have a problem. I don't know about any of you guys, but I have a problem with the fact that Chloe has already introduced her young man, or YN, to her children. If it's not going to be a lifetime relationship, if she's just in it for the willy bang bang, you dig what I'm saying, then she should keep that outside of her home. That should never have entered her home. And I feel like she's a little angry with her son because she thinks that, and he may be a little disrespectful, but I have to look at it from his side as well, because Chloe lost her husband. You know, my condolences sincerely to you, Chloe, and your babies for you losing your husband right after y'all got married. But I believe that your son, Nico, has picked up the slack for there not being a daddy in place. And he had to do it from a very young age. And this is just the first episode. And this is what I'm getting from that. I'm getting that he is the one that takes care of your kids. He feeds your kids. He probably takes the kids to and from school, plays with them and all that other stuff while you're out and about doing whatever it is that you're doing, because you run a business. So you're not home all the time. And I believe that he's the one that's taking care of the kid. Now, if you don't think that that's a large responsibility for somebody who doesn't have children, number one, who was a child when this occurred, number two, and who has to hear his mama talk crap to him about him disrespecting her in her house about a young she's seeing, you know what I'm saying? Something's wrong with you, Chloe, because there's absolutely no way this man would have been in my home, period. First of all, he should have his own spot. Not your son, I'm talking about the dude you sleeping with. He should have his own spot. And if he has his own spot, then you should be over there. Or y'all could do hotels, staycays, or whatever. But there's absolutely no reason that he should have ever entered his feet into your home. Because if it's not going to be a long-term relationship and you're not planning on marrying this man or building a lifetime with this man, he shouldn't be there in the first place. Okay? I understand where your son is coming from. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to spend time with you talking about it because he's thinking in his young mind that here is somebody about my age. He may be a couple of years older than me or younger, whichever it is. I don't know at this juncture. But the fact of the matter is here's somebody about my age basically trying to run a household that he has absolutely no idea about. You know what I'm saying? And I think Nico is salty. I think your son is really salty that you are not giving him the respect that he's due and that he's earned from taking care of your children. You run a business. You could hire somebody to do that. Your son should not be your built-in babysitter. You should have been training your son up to run a business as well. Not use him as your safety, as your net to take care of everything at home when you're not at home. When you're out and about and doing whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's business or playing or night out or sexing or willy bang banging or whatever the flip and dip that you're doing, your son should not be responsible for your household. You have made him responsible for your household, and now you want to talk shit about the fact that he's disrespecting you or talking nonsense to you in your house where you pay the bills at. Well, if you don't want him there, then have a conversation and tell him that. I think as a young man, it's time for you to get out, boopity boppity bam. I don't know if he has a job at this juncture because, like I said, this is just episode 1. I haven't gone through the rest of the seasons yet, y'all. So this is just episode 1. But from what I'm getting from this, you have relied on your son a lot, bigly. You have relied on your son, and now that you have a a YN in your pocket, your back pocket or whatever, you forgot that you have another young man in your home that is blood to you, who is raising your kids, okay? Or helping you raise your kids, and has taken on that responsibility since he was a very young child and hasn't had an opportunity to be an adult. And instead of you trying to bring him down and talk nonsense about the fact that he's grown and living in your house and being disrespectful, you should sit down and apologize to him and say, yo, son, I'm sorry. I put a lot on your plate. And I'm expecting you to take everything that I throw at you, including this relationship I'm having with this YN that I don't know whether it's up or down, left or right. You need to be apologizing to your son. And the reason I say that is because you put a heavy responsibility on him. And by putting that responsibility on him, you also led him to think that he has to take all the nonsense that you bring to him on whatever plate you present it on. You're making him think that he has to deal with everything that you put forth with him. He does not have to accept your relationship with this YN. That's your relationship. He doesn't have to accept that. That's not his father. That man is about his age. And I'm just getting from his vibe that your dude is basically trying to school him like he's a child when he's a grown man. I think that you need to have a conversation with your son and sincerely apologize to him and work on mommy and me time with just you and him, and ask him what he's feeling and what he's thinking and how does he feel about all these things since your husband passed away and taking on such a large responsibility. Because word on the street, I heard that your son is not working. And I'm thinking possibly a reason he's not working is because he's taking care of your children and he's taking care of the home, or because you've leaned on him so much, or both. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't had the opportunity to try and be an adult, or not try and be an adult, to be an adult and go out and discover for himself, because he's at home all the time taking care of what you're supposed to be taking care of, or what you should have hired someone to do. And I don't care if you're paying him or not. I don't really care if you're paying him or not. It's still a lot of responsibility. It's like you have a built-in nanny, a built-in babysitter. I don't know if he cooks or any of that other stuff, cleans up the house or what have you. But if he does, that's a lot of responsibility to put on a young man, especially if he's been doing it since he was a teenager. You dig? And from what I'm seeing, based on, I don't know your children's ages yet, but based on their sizes, it looks like he's been doing this for quite some time. And he hasn't really had any him time. You know, he hasn't had any Nico time, any time to discover himself and see what kind of man he's going to be, and to see if he even wants kids. He may not want kids after this. You know what I'm saying? He may want a bunch of kids after this. Who knows? But Chloe, you, I think, are using your son, and you have used your son, and now you're making it seem like he's being disrespectful. And me as a parent, not only as a mother, I'm also a grandmother. None of that would have happened in my family. That's not how it works. We watched each other, okay? We were latchkey kids, okay? We watched each other. And then the neighbors made sure nothing went on untoward outside the house. As long as we stayed in the house, didn't open the door for nobody, because you know mama said don't open the door for nobody. You don't open the door for nobody. I don't care if it's my husband coming to the door. He got a key. If he knock on the door, you don't open the door for him. That's how it was. We were latchkey kids, and we raised each other, which is the way it should be. And if your kids were too young to raise each other, at that juncture, you should have hired a professional to take care of them and not throw that responsibility onto your son. That's it. That's all. That's all I got to say about you, Chloe, in this episode, season 1 episode, because I think you expect a lot from him, but you don't nurture him and put into him to help him develop. And I don't want to say his masculine skills, because sometimes that comes naturally and sometimes that comes from the neighborhood and boop-a-da-bop-a-da-bam and friends and whatnot. But you just don't nurture him and put into him like you put into your YN. You dig? So I'm going to need you to check yourself and figure out how to get you and your son's relationship on track. I'm not going to say back on track, because I don't know if it was ever on track to begin with once you loaded him up with the responsibility of taking care of your kids. Yes, they are his siblings, but they are not his responsibility. And that's still in there. Okay, Lo-Riders, thank you so much for listening to this video. Please get down in the comments and tell me what you think about this conversation I'm having with you in regards to Chloe, and how I think that she's actually using her son. And then she has the nerve to be upset that she feels he's disrespectful in her house. And then the fact that she brought a young Nigga into her home if they're not building a lifelong relationship. What say you? Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, family, enemies to come on over to Lo-Riders territory and we can have a conversation about it. And last but not least, Lo-Riders and YouTube Fam Bam, don't forget this Saturday, we're doing our Saturday night pajama party at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the menu is going to be Jamaican style oxtail, Jamaican style cabbage, and we're going to have the plantains. And I don't know if I'm making a carrot cake or not. I was thinking about making a carrot cake, but I don't know yet if I'm going to make a carrot cake. And then, of course, I'm going to make some seasoned rice. I don't know if I'm making peas and rice or rice and peas, like they say. Peas and rice, rice and peas, whatever. But that's what's on the menu. And I hope you guys will join me. Love each and every one of you immensely. Wakanda forever. Mwah. Peace.